Did not get the sign coming in, but we're at the Charles Pinckney National Historic Site. National, that's really super cool. Right across from Boone Hall Plantation. So here's 42 years as a public servant. I don't know. Here, pause the video and read. Now go slow. I don't want to read to you. He did a lot of stuff. I don't think you can see that. His contributions to the United States Constitution. He was one of the people that sat with John Rutledge in the house that we were just visiting, helping to write the Constitution. Not as grandiose as the others, but looks like a lot of land. This one talks about the archaeology. Look at how they're out in front digging stuff up. Is this where we go in?
I guess. This the entrance?
House is only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even though the internet says it's open. Yeah, so the grounds are open today, not the house. Here's a map. You are here. In entrance, exit. I don't know. Is that behind us? There's restroom, theater room, non-public area. This says Snee Farm Plantation. Visit the exhibits inside to learn about Charles Pinckney, the signer of the U.S. Constitution, and other founders of the United States of America, both free and enslaved, who worked and lived here. Their innovation and labor transformed the South Carolina Lowcountry into an agricultural powerhouse and helped weave the fabric of the nation. More huge trees with Spanish moss. That's not really moss.
Okay, enslaved Africans and their Gullah Geechee descendants lived and worked in the Snee Farm plantation from the 1700s to 1865 before the Civil War. Agricultural use shifted from rice to corn and other staples. Cotton appeared in the final decades of the 1800s. Farming ceased by the early 1930s, and from 1936 to the end of private ownership in 1980, the former plantation was used as a private residence. In nearly 300 years of human habitation, buildings have come and gone. Economies have changed. Archaeological research has unearthed different items and structures that have been on the turf plantation.
We were told this is a trail, and there's a square in the ground where the foundation for the slave quarters were. Indigo and its beginnings. That's a crop that they sold back to Britain, and they used it for dyes for their soldiers' uniforms, and that's what allowed these plantation owners to earn money in order to get started on their plantations. That's what the guy on the last trip told us. Eliza Lucas Pinckney, great aunt of Charles Pinckney of Snee Farm Plantation, and her enslaved workers were the first people in the colonies to successfully cultivate indigo commercially in 1744. Pinckney shared her seeds with other planters who learned how to efficiently grow their quantities of indigo, and these improved growing techniques, making indigo dye a dominant export from Charleston in the 1700s, and its peak in 1775, right before 1776. Indigo dye exported from the colony of South Carolina to Great Britain weighed
1,122,200 pounds
and was worth
L242.
That's a pound symbol.
Yeah, I know, it's a pound.
And $28 million in today.
This is Mrs. Pinckney. That's the reference.
Yeah, I know the Pinckneys. I can never say it. Somebody married a Rutledge. I don't know who. And I don't know if it was here, but it very well could be, because the Boone Hall plantation was, the wife was the mother of John and Edward Rutledge. It's a nice little walk, breezy, beautiful tree over the trail. This says you go that way, nature trail and boardwalk, and over this way is the enslaved community site is over this way. Small replica illustrates how rice trunks were used to flood and drain rice fields. To flood a field, the gate on the river side was raised while the other was lowered. Water flowed into the field through the trunk at the high tide. To drain the field, the gates were switched and the water could flow out.
Huh.
I guess that's a private residence over there.
Yes, there's a car and truck over there.
So the boardwalk is this way, but I don't know how long this trail is. How long do we want to walk down this trail? Yeah, I don't think we're going to walk too far. We kind of looked at the map, and we have to finish up our activities and get on the road. But isn't it beautiful? I hear people. Oh, you can go that way or this way. The boardwalk is to your right. The nature trail and enslaved community site is to your left. You want to go to the boardwalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice by the boardwalk. How fun. Oh, I hope there's no alligators out here.
If it's on the boardwalk, we'll be able to see them.
Yeah, and be able to turn around and make a beehive the other way. I know, that's it's a end. Here's the end. And it says Low Country Waterways.
Well, there it is.
During colonial times, any trip to Charleston from Snee Farm was by way of tidal creeks and rivers, while today we depend on the automobile. Life was not so convenient for the people of Charles Pinckney's time. You had to
Charleston was planned around favorable tides.
Yeah. And then this talks about Carolina gold, which we learned is the rice.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is that rice out there?
I don't think so.
And there's actually some water right down in there too. You can kind of see it through there. Now we have to go back.
I think it's one of the creeks or something.
So we're back at this intersection, and we're going to go this way, Nature Trail and Enslaved Community Site. This is just so different from any trail I've ever been on. At the Spanish moss, that's not moss and not Spanish, more like an air plant. And all the palm trees. Oh, the roots are catching me. Oh, we have another little boardwalk here. The roots are underneath all these leaves. And I keep catching my toe on them. Another boardwalk. Look at that, like, pineapple one. I think the trail's not used much. You can tell the further you get into it. Keeps meandering. Out at the other end of the field. I mean, we started way down there. And there's a sign. Oh yeah, here is the foundation. He's walking it. Oh, there's another one over there. They were pretty far from the... And then here's about what the sign says. Yeah, they're not very big, but yet they have this entire field. So there's the back of the house. I guess we just walk across the field to the house. I guess the slave quarters over right there are not that far from the house. This was probably a lot of rice field here. So I guess this is the front of the house.
Yeah, seems to be.
Yeah, with the front porch. That tree again, right next to the house. I'm gonna walk this way, there's a sign. This talks about the Snee farm. The Pinckney family owned the Snee farm from 1754 to 1817. Charles Pinckney inherited the property from his father in 1782. Snee farm was one of Charles Pinckney's 7 plantations. At 750 acres, it was his smallest, and they came here to relax and spend the holidays. Throughout the early period, enslaved Africans and African Americans cultivated staple crops: indigo, corn, and later cotton. Ooh, that breeze. So, and then there's maps. 1818 plat. 1780 map of the Low Country. And
It was family residence until 1990.
family residence until 1990, and now it's owned by the National Park